Today we will be talking about the early Victorian era, which reigned from 1837 to 1860. Some background information about this time was that the Victorian period roughly coincides with the years that Queen Victoria ruled Great Britain and its empire. The people who lived through the Victorian era witnessed rapid changes. The country evolved from an agriculture to an industrial nation. The Romantic period took its name from the Queen and her beloved husband. Moving on to gender roles, men and women were confined to separate spheres, which meant that men and women were different and meant for different things. Men belonged in the public sphere, which meant occupying positions of authority such as politics and work. Men were expected to have a wife and family safe in a home. They also provided financial stability for a family and which reflected their success. As for women's roles, women belonged in the private sphere, which meant being responsible for domestic duties including managing the household, raising children, and maintaining a morally upright home. Education for women focused on moral and domestic training. Clothing was designed to visually represent the ideals of femininity. Corsets cinched the waist to achieve the desired hourglass figure. Crinolines and petticoats were massive skirt structures which extended the lower body. Drop shoulder lines and sloped shoulders emphasized fragility and softness. Now we're looking at costume details. Rich, heavy fabrics like silk, satin, velvet, and fine wool were used among the upper class to signal wealth. There was also color symbolism. White was associated with purity and often used for young girls and brides, while darker tones were preferred by mature women. Women wore bonnets, hats, gloves, and shawls. Jewelry could be sentimental. An example would be locket with hair in it. Some social norms was that women's fashion emphasized modesty, virtue, and fragility. They were seen as moral guardians of the home. The rise of the middle class caused eagerness to display refinement and upwards mobility. Elaborate clothing with rich fabrics became a symbol of status. Queen Victoria was a cultural icon of her time. Her moralism and family values shaped fashion. Because of her white wedding dress, she changed the expectations of what a wedding dress should look like. The Queen influenced her country into practicing religious customs. This meant that middle class and lower class should avoid flashy or excessive ornate dresses. Victorian literature and art idealized emotional bonds and family unity as well. Sumptuary laws historically regulated who could wear what based on class, gender, and status. Formal sumptuary laws no longer existed in Britain, however they were still practiced. Social classes and moral conduct became the new enforcement of what was appropriate to wear. Upper-class women expected to wear fine fabrics like silk, satin, velvet, detailed lacework, and lavish accessories. Middle-class women imitated aristocratic dress but had to maintain modesty, while working-class women wore practical garments made of cotton or wool. Music was a key part of middle and upper-class women's education and social life. Women's clothing mirrored musical themes of delicacy and domestic virtue. Dress for musical events required elegance. Victorian art was deeply influenced by Romanticism. Emotional intensity, idealized beauty, nature, and the medieval past. Portraits and paintings of the time often idealized women in luxurious garments. Buildings were ornate and symmetrical. Fashion reflected the structured elegance of it. Lace pleating and layering was similar to the decorative detailing in Victorian interiors.